Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Just seeing how much we can get away with. It's the audience of one show on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5 FM, streaming on irlonestar.com and available wherever you get your podcast from. I'm Andrew, sitting next to the guy who thinks it's not that difficult to catch a chicken. It's Dick. Have you seen a naked owl before? Schisler. Yeah.
You know, it's funny. The Olympics is a great conversation to always have with everybody. And I was thinking the other day, it's like bronze and silver.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just the fact that you went to the Olympics is really impressive, right?
Correct.
But then when you start getting into, like, the details of it, especially, like, in the swimming department, like, say you met the guy who got the bronze, and you're like, oh, cool. I mean, that's really impressive. And then you go online to watch the thing, and he's, like, a fingernail, and you're kind of like, ooh, ah. Ooh.
Yeah, I did notice that if you have won previously a silver or bronze medal, you do change your expectations the next time you're at the Olympics. You're like, man, it's gold or nothing, man. It's gold or nothing.
But you're also 4 years older.
Right, well, true, and you're running out of time. But I did hear one of the announcers say when one of the swimmers for the United States got another silver medal, oh, he's stuck with the silver. And I'm thinking if this were his first one, they'd be like, look at that, silver medal. But because he already has one.
It's wild to me.
Oh, jeez. Another silver. And then, of course, if you don't get anything, it's, I was an Olympic athlete. I didn't medal, but made it to the Olympics. Hey, man, way to go. Good for you.
Well, that's why I kind of laugh about it, because I had an interview with a city employee here, and they mentioned they do, like, the Employee of the Year.
Mm-hmm. Impossible to judge, but go ahead.
And then they mentioned who was second and third. And I go, awesome. And I was like, I get that for the Olympics. Because you can watch the competition, and it's like, yeah, I get it. He was a little shorter, or she was a little slower.
Did they put him on a podium, too? That'd be so awesome.
But then when I was like, but why on earth would you tell an employee, hey, you worked really hard this year, but you're not the best.
But Jim over there is just a little better.
He's just a little bit better than you.
Now, hold on. When they announce it, do they do like third, second, and then first?
Well, no.
That'd be great.
Well, the way he was describing it, he wasn't even trying to go into the details. He was just talking about doing press releases and things like that. And then I was like, are you required to say that? Or is it more of like you think you're trying to say, hey, they're great too. Like these people are really good too.
Right.
But the way he said it was like you literally just ranked them. And that can't be good for morale. Like, that cannot.
And if you're the guy who got third, do you put that on your yearly review? Placed third in the Employee of the Year award. You know, I don't know.
I mean, I think it also depends on how many people work. Say you work with a company that's like 400,000 people.
Yeah, I suppose.
And you get third. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty good, yeah.
But with the way I was like, but for that, the Olympics I get, because again, it's just like a unique event every 4 years, so it's special that the fact that you're even there. And then, and very rarely do you see athletes are just bad.
Not at the Olympics usually, yes. Yeah. That's kind of a qualification.
Yes.
You tend to be good at what you're doing.
But you also see athletes that are so far superior than everyone else. It's kind of like, oh, that's boring.
It's amazing how there can be an Olympic athlete who's phenomenal who is actually that much worse, I guess, than another Olympic athlete. Especially when you see it in longer swim races. Maybe not a 50 or 100 meter, but the ones that are 600 or 800 meters, they're separating by miles, you know, and it's like, wow, that guy's just that much better.
Yeah, he just ate a cheeseburger. He shouldn't have eaten the cheeseburger. Now, let me ask you this. Cause
yeah, man.
We are going to talk a little bit about the Olympics.
A little bit, of course.
What do you see as the Olympics, like the most useless thing?
I don't know. In terms of what?
It could be a sport. It could be like the presentations of stuff.
I think it's the announcers half the time.
You think so?
Oh my God, they've been really bad. Yeah, the announcer. I wish I had some audio I could have ripped for you because I've heard some pretty bad announcing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's one thing I wondered is probably exists. It's like I'd rather just watch the sport.
Yeah, there was one time, I think it was during, I guess it was the gymnastics competition, and you're the guy, the announcer say, and look over there's Snoop D-O double G, sounding, so extremely white. It's like, yeah, thanks. And I think he had some other comment about him later on. It's like, oh, just please stop. Enough.
Can we watch the thing?
Just in silence.
Because I think I mentioned this on another show, not this one, but I even saw a shot of a camera pointing at the screen in the middle of the stadium, the fight that was happening below.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why don't you just point the stupid camera at the judo match? And I think they do that because it wasn't the main camera. They're like, oh, they're waiting to set up for the next deal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but there's clearly something happening right now. It's probably like the two smallest countries in the world.
Right. No.
And no one cares. But it's like, why are we watching that?
They would rather show Simone Biles looking up to get her score than the person who's actually still competing for Lithuania. Out there. Yeah, it's just the way it goes.
I get it. But I wish there was a way to you go, especially with the internet, you could just pick a camera and be like, let's see it. Just leave me here in this moment. But yeah, and I really don't like the Olympics being at the time zone thing because now I don't really care when things are. I just get notifications.
At the time zone thing. Oh, yeah, because it's happening right in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
And they package it up and replay it at prime time. But at that point, you probably already know what has happened. And that's exactly what happened to me the other day. I got a notification on my phone, on my computer saying, Simone Biles and whomever, the U.S. girls gymnastics team win gold. I'm like, well, I was going to watch that tonight. Yeah. Never mind. So anyways, as I teased a few weeks ago, I was in Las Vegas during the opening ceremonies, and man, I was pretty excited. I made a $100 bet on 50-1 odds. Yeah, that there would be a drag show at the opening ceremonies, and it hit, baby.
Are you serious?
It hit. Yeah, although I didn't do the parlay that someone's nuts would fall out due to a wardrobe malfunction.
Oh, that's right.
Because had I done that, I'd have my own island.
But there really was a drag show. Are you kidding me right now?
I am kidding you.
Oh, because I was like, I can actually see that. Was it really a drag show?
I don't know. It's just that was all the big hubbub where they had, the Last Supper, or supposedly the Last Supper with drag queens. Yeah. I wish I could have made a bet out that. What's that?
Are drag queens like a French thing too, or is it just a
I just think the French people are weird, man. To be honest with you, it made no sense to me. I saw clips of it, and I'm like, what is going on here? What does this have to do with anything? It's wild.
Yeah. All right.
It was wild.
Yeah, because the thing I always felt like was a waste of time with that stuff is the announcer stories is pretty good. I think that is kind of a waste.
Yes.
Because they either focus on the athletes or they try to create some story with the a specific athlete.
Right.
And then it just dies out, and then they're kind of like, at the end of the ceremony, everyone's already kind of gone home, I feel like. So I
guess they got to do something, right? I mean, if you're just introducing thousands and thousands of athletes, it'd be kind of boring. So they got to jazz it up. But this one was just weird. Again, French people are just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was hoping for some prankster to get in somehow.
Oh yeah, I bet you they keep that pretty tight because if you get in and do that, you're probably prosecuted in a foreign country, most likely, which is never a good thing.
Yeah.
And if you're an athlete, you get kicked out immediately. And so I think they keep that on the pretty tight and narrow, but it would be, from a viewing standpoint, pretty good. Speaking of Vegas, on my way back, I had a glorious flight because I had the rare occasion of an entire row to myself.
So a row of raw dogging.
I did not raw dog it. But, yeah, man, a row all to myself. I took my shoes off, removed my pants. It was amazing. And then, of course, the flight attendant came and told me to put my pants back on. And I had this weird observation or thought about a flight attendant. They're kind of a cross between like an elementary school teacher and a cocktail waitress, right? Because they'll come by.
With authority.
Yeah, but they'll come by and they'll be like, did you remember to put
and a police officer.
Did you remember to put your seatbelt on? Did you remember to put your tray tables upright? But then like a few minutes later, she'll bring you a double jack on the rocks. Like, it's kind of crazy. And you're right. And a police officer, because if things get out of hand, she'll like,
Well, you know what?
take things into her
I guess
her
people
own
really
hands.
do have anxiety when traveling.
Yeah.
And
Booze it up, especially going to Vegas. A lot of booze being served on that plane.
Yeah, but I mean, it's more of just like the anxiety of dealing with people and then trying to figure it out, and then like, especially long flights, because like I think the longest flight I was ever on was like 4 hours, and and I occupy my time easily with video games. Like I could just play a video game and
I noticed that about you.
literally just not know anything for 12 hours.
Sometimes during this show.
It's true. I'm playing a video game right now. There's Snake going on to the side, or Minesweeper. It depends on what I'm feeling.
Right.
No, but yeah, and I can't imagine what they encounter, the stupidity of people because they're so nervous. They're like,
Right.
I haven't slept in like 12 hours, especially after leaving Vegas. I bet that is
It's a much different flight. I think next week I'll talk about some of the adventures I had. I don't know if I told you about. I think I did a little bit via text message. I'll talk a little bit about something that happened to me on a flight that has never happened before, but I don't want to bore everybody with that just quite yet.
And that's when people take Ambien.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I don't get that. Unless it's like a long, like a
Yeah.
18-hour flight.
Well,
Like
I guess you just want to be knocked out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't know. Well, it was a glorious, glorious fight. But staying on this Olympic thing, man, Snoop Dogg is everywhere. And it's got to be some sort of cross-promotion thing, right? I'm guessing he's going to come out and have some new show he's promoting, right? Isn't that typically the way they do it?
I think he has that niche where he's like he can go anywhere he wants.
Yeah. His Q rating is off the charts.
And it's like, oh, hey, Snoop Dogg's here. That's great. He's at the hockey game.
Yeah.
You know, and then because he did hockey, and then think about that show he did with Martha Stewart.
Right.
It's almost like he goes, I'm going to do something. It's almost like he's doing his own Travel Channel show, but he's not doing it on like one platform. It's like, I'm just going to do whatever I want. What Olympics is coming up? I'm hanging out with everybody.
Yeah. Which is why I think he's got something up his sleeve, or NBC's got something up their sleeve. But it is amazing to me how he has crossed over, and somehow suburban white moms think he's just great. I'm like, when I was a kid, this guy was rapping about like smoking weed and killing people and running from the cops, and some other like, oh, that's just Snoop. He's just funny.
Yeah,
I don't get it,
guess.
but whatever.
I mean, I guess.
Hey, you know what? More power to him. If you can do it, get away with it. Snoop D-O-double-G.
White moms for Harris, Kamala Harris.
Yo, is it white moms, just white men? I think it's the big one.
There's both. There's
there?
white ladies and white men.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, that's one of the greatest things I've seen in a while. And again, that's another thing I hope there was a jokester going to be part of that. No one. I was really hoping for it.
You know, I did see that there was a woman, I put this in my notes over here, that it was competing 7 months pregnant.
Oh, yeah, the fencer. Yeah.
And she didn't say anything until after I think she was eliminated. But my thing is, I would have told everybody, because I think it would have given you a competitive advantage, right? Because
Don't hurt the baby.
Exactly. Because if I'm the guy fencing, I'm like, I can't poke. Like,
The girl. They don't.
I'm sorry, how very gender binary of me. If I was the other female, if I identified as a female and was
think it's kind of funny.
and competing against her, I wouldn't want to poke her in the belly.
This is what I would have done. Say she's fighting me. And when we come up, you do the little sword in the face.
Right.
I would whisper, I was like, I don't care you're pregnant. I will kill you and your baby.
See, that'd be the only way to fight it.
Yeah.
I think most people would be like, the other way around. You go up to do the little thing with the sword and you say, I'm 7 months pregnant. And they look, wait, what? And then fight.
And every time I poked her stomach, I would like, got her. Or him.
This count as 2 victories?
Yeah.
I did win.
Your shot is as weak as you.
She was from Egypt.
That's pretty remarkable.
It is pretty remarkable. I guess she was obviously not showing, or they wear all that padding,
I wonder
probably.
if there's a great story of like the most inconvenient thing to happen to an Olympic athlete.
Well, if you're female, I imagine there are some inconvenient things that can happen while competing.
Well, I meant more of like,
Biologically speaking, unfortunately, right?
yeah, like you get tested as a man.
That too.
But
just partially a man.
well, I mean,
not
yeah,
fully.
no one really knows, but
Yeah.
you can't compete.
Right.
But no, like,
Or you can.
because it's every 4 years you're training as hard as possible, but
Right.
then it's like like a week before, oh, you broke your foot, or like you get arrested for something.
So I did see that gymnasts, because I can imagine they're wearing very scantily clad outfits and they're contorting their body. I've always wondered how some sort of mishap hasn't happened where you have some sort of genital part pop out, you know?
Oh no,
But what they do is they actually spray like tough spray on their skin to prevent the leotard from moving. It's like this sticky spray. Yeah, because I've wondered, I'm like, how
but
is
that
that
has
thing
nothing
not
to do
moving?
with not competing. Like you're
No, but you said what would be the worst thing to happen when you get up there and you got to pick a wedge?
no, I meant more of like you're training, and then you can't compete. It's like you broke your ankle, right?
You
Like,
suddenly test as
like
male, I think would
yeah,
be the big
that,
one.
that one's
What?
pretty great. Look
You're
that
telling
up,
me
2020.
I'm a dude now?
Yeah. Well, it's like you get in the shower and you're like, oh, I got to shower real quick after that, and then like you get out and like you slip and you fall on glass and like you can't walk.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, great. Like there it goes. Because they have that awkward situation.
Because that happens all the time.
Well, there's got to be someone that gets injured before.
Yeah.
And they're there. And then they're like, hey, since you can't compete, you can't really stay here.
I mean, I have seen a lot of stories of people being disqualified for various acts. I think one Japanese girl got in trouble for partying. She stayed out too late. And they said, nope, no partying against the rules. So she was disqualified. What was there? A couple of other ones that they get disqualified for some really random things. I think that would suck, man. Because you're, like you said, you work, and then.
Well, what about that poor soul for Russia when they got busted as like the chances of that one person not doing steroids is low.
Right.
But imagine that one person, and they're like, I didn't do that. And like, well,
they're not even in the Olympics this year.
Well, they
all.
can't.
Yeah,
they're not allowed to be.
Well, last year, remember, they were like the People's Republic of RRS. They couldn't even say the word shh.
Yeah.
The country's name shall not be named.
They would have the Olympic flag if they wanted.
That's right, yeah. But this year they said, no, we're not even going to do that.
Yeah.
We're not even going to throw you a bone.
That one poor soul. It's like, I always wanted to play field hockey. And then it's like, no, sorry.
Yeah.
But.
Well, that's our Olympic update, man. I'm sure we'll have one more next week, right? Or maybe even the week after, because it goes on and on.
We're
going to have track and field.
How many people do you think are raw dogging in the Olympics?
Speaking of raw dogging, so did you see the male gymnast team, the pommel horse guy at the very end, who was like very stoic and had his like eyes closed? You know what I'm talking about? Okay, so the Olympic team for the U.S. men won a bronze medal for the first time since 2008 for the team event. Well, the last male to compete was this man whose only event, 25-year-old man, was pommel horse. That's all he did. And he was significantly slighter of build, had these glasses, and they kept showing him because he was the last one to go. And half the time he has his eyes closed and his head just leaned back. And I'm like, this dude is raw dogging the Olympics. He just would sit there emotionless, wouldn't break a smile, nothing while everybody's pumping.
Yeah.
He gets out there and just rips off this amazing routine on pommel horse, and the men's Olympic team got bronze, which was pretty slick.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he was raw dogging the Olympics. The first thing I thought of. Like, look.
It's like, I didn't bring any entertainment.
Nothing. I'm just going to sit here and close my eyes. Yeah. Because they're all fist pumping and yelling, and he kind of opens up one eye. All right.
Well, it's probably, I bet that one guy from
tap my shoulder when it's my time to go.
That one guy from the Netherlands who slept with like a 12-year-old and went to jail.
You know, that I heard about that. That is frowned upon, even in the Netherlands, supposedly, huh?
Yeah, I think he was 19 at the time or 18.
Something like that.
But,
something like that.
Yeah, people were booing him.
Awesome, man. Well, we'll have more Olympic coverage next week. Dick, there are often times where people will ask me what it is like to do a show with you. And I've had multiple people ask me.
Because I'm more interesting than you.
Well, they do think that you're interesting, no doubt. But I've had people ask me if it's a character you're playing. And I'm like, no, this is just the way he is. And I wanted to read a text message that you and I had in exchange from last week.
Oh, I don't remember it.
No, I guarantee you don't. So I thought last week's show was pretty good. I sent you a text that said, hey, man, last week's show was pretty good. I thought it was pretty funny. Your response was El Salvador. That's literally your response to me. And I'm like, yep, that's Dick.
Well, because I remember I go, hey, I'll find out what it is.
Yeah, I know.
And it's El Salvador.
It was a previous conversation that we had, but had nothing to do with the text conversation.
I think it's rude to start new conversations without ending the previous one.
And El Salvador was an answer to a conversation that we had in person, not a previous text message.
I didn't want to leave it hanging, man. That would bother me.
I'm like, El Salvador. All right.
Oh, you should see all my text messages. Like the text message I send to everybody doesn't make any sense just because I'd never pay attention to
I know I've received a lot of them.
And it's just like, hey, this is a thought of the day.
All right, man, let's go ahead and start the show. Were you aware that the Weinermobile, the Oscar Mayer Weinermobile, was involved in a car crash?
It tipped.
It rolled over. I will say I wouldn't want to get rear-ended by that car.
Yeah.
Or maybe I would. I don't know. But yeah, they said that no one was hurt. Thankfully. But yeah, man, the Oscar Mayer Weinermobile was involved in a rollover crash in Illinois on Monday morning. The crash occurred around 11:12. Blah blah blah. So this is pretty funny. I didn't realize that the Oscar Mayer Weinermobile. There's a whole fleet of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they started in. They're 23 feet long. First of all, it's a long car.
It doesn't look very long. I want to try to pull up some pictures for
Well, it's
people.
longer probably than an F-150. I imagine F-150 is probably around 19 feet because most garages are right at 20, and I know
See,
it's like a tight
that
fit.
one looks really long.
Are you showing this to the onesies, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay,
that
cool.
one looks long, but this one, that angle, it looks as wide as a lane, a car lane.
Yeah. It's,
So it doesn't look that long.
I mean, that's 23 feet. It's long. But apparently they started their fleet in 1988 so they could, quote, continue to spread the joy and love of meat. Sounds like a very noble cause.
Hey, Mom, Dad, I'm going to go spread some meat. Let me see if I can buy one.
The very first Weinermobile hit the road in 1936, and the Weinermobile weighs as much as 100.
Oh, it's called the Weinermobile.
Yeah.
That's the official.
Yeah. It weighs as much as 140,000 hot dogs, has mustard and ketchup seats inside, a hot dog-shaped dashboard, a removable bun roof, because why not, and a ketchup walkway and an official Wiener jingle horn. You know all about Wiener jingles, don't you?
Well, it's a whistle.
Yeah, but they call it the Wiener jingle horn, and I don't know what the Wiener jingle is, but I imagine it's a little tune, right?
You mean look up Wiener
jingle? Be careful, you are on city
Yeah, we're not doing that.
laptops. Wiener jingle. You'll have to look it up on your own. But yeah, thank goodness
7,000.
no one was hurt.
Back in 2019,
Yeah.
for $7,000, you could buy a Weinermobile.
You know, we talked about mechanophilia a couple weeks ago, and that's people who have a sexual attraction to automobiles. I think this one would have to be kind of up at the top of the list, don't you think?
What's weird to me is like all those TikTokers and stuff like, oh, I live in my car. Like, this is the car I would get and TikTok that. I'm like, I live in the Weinermobile.
The Weinermobile. But I would think that
Like imagine ordering fast food.
you drive through.
Yeah, it's like,
that's kind of Inception, isn't it?
yeah. Like, and then you could go, I wonder if you could go to like Buc-ee's, and then you make a whole thing. I mean,
Yeah, stream it.
so you
I think it's well worth
do you
it.
want to buy one and then
I'm thinking about it.
do the show? That's what we'll do our shows.
Absolutely. You know it's
And
going
we'll
to
always eat a Oscar Mayer hot dog. I don't even like Oscar Mayer hot dogs. They don't taste very good.
I'm a ballpark guy myself.
I'm a Hebrew national.
Oh my, that is quite fancy.
That's not that much more expensive, and it tastes.
I don't know, it just sounds really fancy. But I think though,
You never
again,
had a Hebrew national?
I have,
hot
of
dog?
course I have. But I
So
think
much better
But
than
I think
Ballpark.
if I were the one who was attracted to automobiles, I would consider the Weinermobile basically the top of my mechanical conquests.
Yeah,
I mean, seriously, think about that.
I still can't get. I still don't understand that.
It doesn't make any sense, man. Not at all.
Yeah, that's a sad day for Oscar.
Yeah. Oh, well. But again, thank goodness everyone is okay. Dick, did you hear about the Costco, what do they call them? The apocalypse buckets that are being sold at Costco, claiming they have enough food in them to last, well, not last for 25 years, but the food itself will last for 25 years. Up to 25-year shelf life, 132 servings for only $63. These things apparently went viral a couple of weeks ago, and some guy did a review on them.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
And it's kind of interesting. Here's the thing I have about like preppers. I think it's a good idea, but if the world gets to the point where there's like an apocalypse or some sort of major event where you have to use this, I think you're going to need more food than you probably realize, because it's going to be years and years before things get back to normal.
I mean, the only thing I could see being beneficial of buying something like this is the convenience of it. Because if you really are a prepper, it's like you don't just go all in on this thing. You go all in on different methods, and it's like at least you have this method for backup of a backup of a backup. And because
I just feel like if you're a prepper, all you're doing is prolonging the inevitable.
you're gonna eat that food.
No, that you're going to end up dying, because the world's not going to recover that fast. Again, if you're to the point where you're having to dig into your stash,
Yeah,
things have gone terribly wrong. Your neighbors may die. You're just
it
going
all
to die about
depends.
6 months later.
it all depends. I mean, I remember having MREs for dinner.
Things were rough, man. Things
Well,
were
it's
rough.
because I didn't want to go anywhere, and I was like, "Oh, I got this MRE, tight." And then I realized it's like 2,000
Tight, bro.
Then it was like 2,000 something calories, and I felt like butthead afterwards. So I was like, oh, that's why I don't work out.
They're packed. They are
And
packed.
but no, I think it's kind of cool if you're a prepper.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also depends on what your lifestyle is. Because some people like live out in the middle of nowhere. They don't have internet or anything. But like
True. True, but again, they're not living in an apocalyptic world.
But you can still. It's not bad food.
I think no. Oh, you think just to eat?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's supposed to last for 25 years.
I think any food that lasts for 25 years can't technically be any good for you. It may provide your body with sustenance, but come on.
I don't know.
I think the best way to survive something like that is be able to plant your own fresh vegetables and garden and things like that, and slaughter your own cows, catch your own chickens. See, you're already ahead of the game there.
Yeah, dude, man, steak sounds so good today.
It actually does sound pretty good.
Will you make me a steak?
Sure, bud. Speaking of the future, have you ever thought about what humans will look like in the future? Because if you look back in history books, and the humans kind of had that forehead that kind of bulged.
It depends if we go to war or not.
Okay, do explain. Explain.
Well, I imagine if we're going to war, men will get a little harder because they're killers.
Hey now.
But if we're not going to war, we're going to get a little softer.
Okay, you're actually...
So we're going to be little pretty boys.
Actually, you are onto something.
Or we're going to be Vikings again. It's either or. And see, I'm trying to go for both looks.
Yes.
So I can be a little dainty pretty boy.
I like to call your look homeless chic.
Yes.
Yeah, homeless chic. Well, you are spot on because according to theconversation.com, we will likely live longer and become taller as well as more lightly built. We will be less aggressive and more agreeable, but have smaller brains. A bit like a golden retriever, we'll be friendly and jolly, but maybe not that interesting. At least that's one possible future. Well, and they say that's part of the reason is because if there's no wars, and and we don't need to, we're not built to go out and fight.
What's amazing about that is, so, like, I don't know what to call them, like, basically people who work in the science field can be pretty crazy. And if they actually give them power to do their crazy things, so you're like, I always look at the footage during the World War II stuff of the Germans doing the skull readings, like they're measuring your skull, and I'm like, that is so crazy to me that we want to sit down and measure everyone's skull and then record it, and then it's like, all right, what are we going to use this data for?
They're just mining it, man.
Oh, I know. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
because we've gotten bigger and taller over time.
Yeah.
And I'm sure our skulls have gotten bigger too, although we haven't gotten any smarter.
Well, I mean, that's why if I was an Olympic athlete, I want to make sweet.
So it says here,
farm to table.
You are spot on with this.
We already know how to create the perfect society the perfect human being.
And we know that you want to have a cult.
And the greatest thing about it, I'm not involved with it at all because after I build it, I'm like, I can't live here.
Deuces, I'm out. It says evolution isn't so much about survival of the fittest anymore as reproduction of the fittest. So even if nature is less likely to murder us, we still need to find partners and raise children. So sexual selection now plays a bigger role.
Yeah, isn't that the joke in Idiocracy? The movie, you ever seen the movie?
Absolutely. I love that movie.
The very beginning of it, where they go like, stupid people are having more babies.
Absolutely. And they're, the smart ones are trying to time out having a child with the market.
Yeah.
When that'll hit.
So eventually there's
Meanwhile, the football player is sleeping with everyone and going, everyone here.
Yeah. See, a little bit of both. Why can't I live in both?
You do. All right, man, it's probably a pretty good time to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about having artificial intelligent friends.
Oh, I actually got something to tell you about that after this. It's going to be
excellent. Good. Okay, I can't wait.
Car enthusiasts of Conroe, FM 104.5 and 106.1 Lone Star Community Radio invites you to shift into gear every Monday from 1 to 2 with Cruising Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy for news on all things automotive in the greater Houston-Conroe area. Can't make a live show? We've got you covered. You can find all of our uncut content, including full episodes on Spotify, iTunes, Play Store, YouTube, Facebook, and irlonestar.com. Again, that's Mondays 1 to 2, Cruising Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy. See you there.
And we're back with Audience of One. We're here every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. usually, if Andrew's not on a walkabout.
Yeah, gallivanting around the United States I was. Sorry, onesies, this show will
Ayahuasca
be a
trip
little
every time.
bit...
That's every time an episode's late. It's because Andrew's on an ayahuasca trip.
So that reminds me, the other day, after Biden announced that he was no longer going to run for president, he disappeared for like 6 days. And all these wild conspiracy theories were formulating of where he was and where's Biden. Is he dying? Is he
joined
dead?
the Matrix.
And then finally, finally, like, he's spotted. And of course, all these reporters are asking the stupidest questions, like, "Will Kamala win the election?" I'm like, that's what you're going to ask a dude the president of the United States, when you haven't seen him for 5 or 6 days? I would have said, Mr. President, how was the ayahuasca trip?
Yeah.
So did you meet Mr. Rogers, and what did you guys discuss? What is he going to say? Is Kamala going to win? Of course, he couldn't hear.
I think it's also they know who they're talking to.
Yeah.
And so it's like, we're not going to get anything good from this guy.
And he replied back with, "Miss Piggy." That's literally all he said. Very similar to an El Salvador response.
Really?
Yeah. No, he couldn't hear. He was underneath a helicopter, so he just kind of waved.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I think the news people know if they ask them a question, they're like, we're probably not getting anything good.
No, those guys never give you anything. But anyways, like, share, follow Audience of One show Wednesdays, normally at 10 a.m. Make sure you're sharing these clips. Make sure you're telling a friend. Listen to the Audience of One.
I'd ask him, what smells better, a 13-year-old girl?
Uh-oh, careful. Or, finish the sentence.
Or a watermelon.
Okay,
I don't know.
Jeez.
Edit
that out.
Do watermelons even have smell?
I mean, slightly, I guess.
After you open them.
You just got to really dig your nose in there.
I don't think they really have a smell.
So I had this really weird thing happen to me on my social media feed the other day, and I bet that you have had this happen too.
Sounds like an STD. That
social media going
spreading,
on,
dog.
So I think my algorithm somehow reset.
Really?
Something happened.
That's a beautiful moment.
It's still kind of happening, and so basically I opened up my Facebook page, and it's nobody I know. It's basically a bunch of blue check mark people that I have no idea, and it's just one after the other after the other. And so I decided to write down some of these because I thought, well, maybe there's something in here that makes sense. Well, this first one says that I wrote down and made note of, Texas HQ Sports. Okay, maybe I'm a sports guy. I can see how that would be fed to me. Okay, luxury travel. All right, I mean, I travel, maybe so. But here's where it starts to get a little bit odd because it's any and everything. Knitting with me, all about crochet. The next one, it's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. These are the titles of these Facebook pages. The OG Mini Trucking Coalition.
I like that. All right, so why?
I don't even know what
what's
this
the
is.
answer to this?
I don't know. So I'm hitting, X, no on all of these. But of course, I said big thumbs up to the OG Mini Trucking Coalition.
Mini trucking.
Two more, the South African Special Olympics. And last but not least, the Navajo Language Reporter. I don't know how. So obviously, this algorithm just reset. I don't know. And it's like that. I've been doing this now for almost a week, and it's still really off. It's barely anybody I know in my feed. It's just randomly generated stuff. Has this ever happened to you, at least to this degree?
No. Not really. I mean, not to where that's that noticeable. I do know the AI stuff where, like, you mentioned dog food or whatever, like you start getting that kind of stuff. You know what really pisses me off?
Tell me what really pisses you off. And now, this is what pisses me off with Dick.
Well, it's more of like, I ordered the Hot Ones hot sauce set.
Yeah. Explain a little bit more.
So you know what that is?
No.
Okay, you ever seen Hot Ones on YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube. It's where they interview celebrities
with hot sauces.
And then they also have them eat like hot, spicy, progressively hotter and progressively hotter
so
wings.
There's 10 wings with 10 hot sauces. And I was like, I lost some of the hot sauces due to the not having power for a while. And
they're probably still good, dude.
They're probably still good, but I was like, I'm going to take this as an opportunity. I always wanted to buy the set. Always wanted to do that. I haven't really bought hot sauces in a good long time.
You know what? You deserve it. Buy yourself that hot
I wanted
sauce
to do it, and I really want to try that last dab. I really wanted to do that. So I bought it, and then after I bought it, that's all the ads I were getting.
Right, and that makes sense because you bought it.
And I'm like, I bought this, dude. Like, I don't need to see an ad every third time. Like,
I've already bought it.
And it's about the set I bought. It's not like other Hot Ones products.
Right.
It's like, this season is so spicy. I'm like, I know, I bought it.
Yeah, right, exactly. That is pretty
And
interesting.
I'm like, I'm not buying it again.
Yeah, that algorithm is not very good. It should recognize that you were interested in that, but let's advertise other hot sauces.
Yeah, like it should know I bought it.
Yeah,
If it's already trying to know what I'm doing, it's like, come on, guys. And then I start start getting like cups.
Like athletic supporters?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I told you my favorite one I ever got.
No, tell me about your favorite athletic supporter.
No, wait, not that.
Oh,
I
okay.
got a composting toilet.
No,
I kept getting
no.
composting toilets.
Oh, yeah, as an advertisement.
As an advertisement.
Yeah, I think we talked about this.
And I'm like, I still don't understand where this came from. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't look up any type of bathroom, anything. Like, I wasn't fixing a toilet, wasn't doing any. But it was like the industrial ones for your homestead houses that has to be under like 2 stories and all that kind of stuff.
Well, remember, we were talking about the LED face mask that looked like a lucha libre mixed with BDSM a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And after that, I got advertisements for that for quite some time. And then just like magic, it stopped.
Yeah. I don't really know.
I don't know.
But yeah, that really pissed me off because that's all I'm getting now. I'm like, I bought it and I don't have it yet. They bamboozled me on the delivery. They're like, oh, it's going to be delivered on Tuesday.
See, maybe it knows. It's tracking the delivery and said, well, we're going to continue to advertise until he's
I'm like, I
actually
want that.
received
I want
the
that.
And you're
want
compelled to buy more. By the way, should we let the onesies know that there is some kind of event going on outside
they
the
can't hear
studio
it.
that is
Someone's retiring.
insanely busy. So right here out in City Hall, of which we broadcast from, there's probably, 200 people
Maybe.
gathered. Looks like fire and police and other city employees. It is quite loud.
And they actually look nice. So
yeah, some of them are dressed up.
So it's got to be something important.
Yeah. Staying on social media, I'm always amused by these people who will at companies to like complain about stuff.
like
They'll
it,
be like,
yeah.
at Kroger, you need to clean up aisle 15. I almost slipped
Yeah.
today. And it's kind of funny to me because it used to be you would contact customer service. You know, you would email them or call
Yeah.
them or write them a letter back in the day. But now you go on social and you at them, right? And I guess the idea here is
Other people see it.
other people see it, perhaps it goes viral, and then that will be a call to action for Kroger to be like, oh man, we got to go clean up aisle 15. This really is a problem. I guess it's successful. I guess it works. But if it doesn't, you just look really petty.
You should go on there and when you're on your Southwest Airlines, say, at Southwest, your cocktail waitresses are great. Let's see what kind of response you get with that one.
They let me lay out 3 rows wide with
Yeah.
no pants on and then gave me a double jack on the rocks. Yeah, see where that one goes. I'm liable to get on a no-fly list. Anyways, a little girl said monsters were in her bedroom, but it turned out it was 60,000 bees. I don't know if you heard the story. It's a
we're
couple
switching
weeks
stories.
old.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I was like, oh, we're talking about Kroger still? Jeez.
It says when 3-year-old Sailor Class, that is her name, Sailor Class began complaining of monsters in her bedroom. Her parents just thought it was a figment of a child's overactive imagination, but then a beekeeper discovered tens of thousands of honeybees above the girl's bedroom. All right, a couple things here. And I'm not really smart the way bees work, but, and you know, I'm going to run the risk of victim blaming here, but don't bees need to like drink water and go out and eat like leaves or flowers or something from time to time? They're not just at the cove, right? The honeycomb the whole time, right? My point is they're coming and going. Wouldn't you kind of see 60,000 bees?
Oh, I don't think so.
It'd be like a highway coming and going outside of your house,
I
man.
imagine the hive hits a point where it's self-sufficient.
Isn't it? It becomes its own biosphere.
I mean, that's what the whole point of a hive is. Yeah.
You think?
They might send out little ones to do. They don't send out all 60,000.
Okay, let's say they send out 10%. What is that? 600.
Yeah.
If I'm
Not at a time.
Oh, I absolutely. Well, but they're still coming and going. It's like the
they're
the
little
information
tiny-
bee superhighway
Yeah, but you're not looking up. How often do you look up in the sky?
all the time.
Yeah, you must run into a lot
I'm
of
looking.
things.
I'm looking for chemtrails. Yeah, I run into a lot of
You
things.
must run into a lot of things.
I don't know. Again, I'm not blaming them, but it does seem like, okay, for example, when you're out at the pool or maybe you're at a picnic and one bee flies by, what do most people do, especially children?
Yeah, but do people
There's a
know?
bee!
But people do you know where it came from?
No, but it's one bee, and you're
Yeah,
If
maybe
you're in your
it's
backyard.
from your neighbor's house that has the $2 million living in the attic. I don't know.
Exactly. You're still freaking out. My point is
I think
you're
it'd be
going to
pretty-
see
I think it's pretty
bees
cool.
coming in and out.
And I feel really bad for that little girl because that's got to be a little traumatizing. Like, no one believed you. It's kind of like that kid from The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
No one believed him.
Nope. He saw dead people. Well, she actually did indeed see the bees. It says her parents didn't initially believe her, but over the following months, Sailor became more insistent that there was something in her closet. And it began to make more sense when oh my God, these names.
Miss Doubtfire?
Her name is Macis Class.
I like it.
Noticed bees swarming in clusters near the attic chimney outside their 100-year-old house. So she finally put 2 and 2 together. From entertainment news, because we are your premier source for entertainment, did you hear that
That's
Elizabeth
true.
Banks was saved by a crew member after they gave her the Heimlich maneuver when she was choking on a pea, which sounds kind of funny because peas seem pretty small to me, but whatever.
Was it frozen?
I mean, do you normally eat frozen peas?
I don't know. How did a pea get in her mouth? Because people flick peas.
Oh, maybe that's, yeah.
So-
maybe someone flicked a pea at her and went clunk right down
Yeah.
her windpipe.
You know how people freak out too when that happens?
Yeah. It is kind of scary.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you don't freak out.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I can understand why someone would choke on it because they're not intending to choke, and their body's like, get this out, and you're like, I don't know what to do.
Well, she says she was eating a, quote, little green pea while eating her lunch, quote, alone in my trailer at the time of the scary ordeal. She threw the door open, couldn't make any noise, and was so afraid. But then she was happy to see someone who says, are you choking? And I gave him the sign, which I guess is like this. I mean, it's not this, is it?
And then he hit her in the face.
And he smacked her. And he gave her the Heimlich maneuver. I have a question
And
for
robbed
you.
her.
Would you rather be Heimlicked by someone you know or a complete stranger? I guess this could have been on What Would You Rather. Somebody you know or a complete stranger give you the Heimlich.
Well, do you know how to do the Heimlich?
At that time, I'm going to say just try it. I mean, yeah, I know generally you kind of put a thumb right in there. What is that area right below your chest?
Sternum?
Yeah, but it's that space right below. I forget what it's called. And you give
Yeah,
a nice...
I'd depend on a stranger because you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it depends. Am I the friend? So I think I'm going to go stranger too, because if it's one of my friends, they're going to kind of hold that against you the rest of your friendship, because they're going to call you up one day and be like, "Hey man,
Remember I saved your life?
yeah, I'm moving on Saturday and I need some help moving
Yeah.
some furniture." And you're like, I've got to take my daughter to piano lessons, and they go, "Oh, sure." It's not like I didn't save your life one time or anything.
No, see, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. You
I'm
go-
doing it wrong.
You gotta say, it's not like your daughter would have a father,
It's even more of a
anymore.
guilt trip.
It's like-
yeah.
you know.
Remember that thing
I
I
would
did that
be-
one time that kept you here on planet Earth? Yeah. Never mind, though. That's fine. I'll just do it myself.
Yeah.
So I'm going stranger with that, man. I'm going stranger.
No, if I saved your life, Andrew, I'd just look at you at any time you ask for anything, I'd be like, I already gave you one. Okay, we're done.
It's true.
I already gave you one.
It's true. You owe me a lot.
No,
This is all
I don't
you
want to
got.
be owed anything.
We're done. We're done.
I've already saved your life once,
We're
so
done.
it's over.
Okay.
Like, if you're choking again, I'd be like, you used your one.
Yeah.
Okay?
So she is taking this opportunity to go around teaching people the Heimlich maneuver,
That's
et cetera,
good.
which is great. I think you can kind of Heimlich yourself. you
And
know
then
what I'm saying?
I think she also put
Over
out
a chair.
She put out a bounty for the Jolly Green Giant.
right.
And it's like, this guy's
Guys,
going down.
He's going after me. Yeah, what was his deal?
Yeah,
Still-
trying to kill me.
Are there different size peas? Maybe it was a
I
really
don't
large
know.
pea, man.
Maybe she was on meth, and then she thought it
No,
was
I
a
love
pea.
Elizabeth Banks, man. She's great. Are you Elizabeth
Oh, it was Elizabeth
Banks?
Banks? Oh.
Did you not hear
I
that?
didn't hear. I thought it was some lady in a trailer.
No, I said from entertainment. Remember people.com entertainment? No,
She wasn't eating
was,
a pea.
That was 5 years
She wasn't eating a pea. Like one pea?
on a spoon.
Yeah. Get out of here. She was huffing pain or something, and
Oh, man. Well, as teased, a startup company went viral for spending $1.8 million on an AI friend necklace.
Ooh.
And I want you to play this video, and you can stop it if you want to comment, but we're going to play this video and see what you guys think, onesies.
I gotta kill our music.
Yeah, kill the music.
We made it.
Wearing a necklace around her neck.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta show this to
I
the
don't know how to
people.
woo very good.
Oh, you want
We're
to stop
good.
it?
We got it.
So she was talking to the necklace.
That's fair.
and it responded.
All right, let's go.
Is this a real thing?
That was going to be one of the things. I don't know, but I think so. So now the next part shows a guy by himself playing video games, wearing his AI necklace, his friend necklace.
I hate this game.
And his necklace is responding back to him.
Oh man, you guys suck. Bro, you look like the back
Let's go. Let's go.
What? Talking smack? He just got talked smack from a necklace?
Yes. So basically what this is, it's an interactive necklace that you wear
The effects are crazy.
that you can communicate back and forth with it as if it were your
Staying back to
friend.
eat one of these every day.
Now, how did that necklace know she was eating a...
Right.
Sorry, I got you messy.
This is great.
Nice up here. How'd you find this place?
I don't know. I just.
What would you name your
I'm up here
necklace?
by myself.
Andrea?
I would definitely name mine Lucifer.
It is, it is pretty scary.
100% to creep people out.
everywhere with you, right?
Who are you talking to, Lucifer?
So this is weird because she's actually talking to another person, but then also talking to her friend by mooshing on the button there. And I guess it's listening all the time and can respond back. It's really, really weird. I wouldn't want this because I'd be afraid, like, you know, if you were in a moment with a lady and all of a sudden you hear your necklace friend go, yeah, right, give it to her good. Something weird.
Yeah.
Or like you're out to eat and he's like, Dick, do you really need that
On
third?
friend.com.
Do
We're
you
going
really,
to it.
do you really need that third helping of chili con carne? You know, you're like, shut up, man.
Well, it sounds like it talks trash.
That's what I'm
so
saying.
I like it.
I wouldn't want this thing following me around through every single weird
No,
scenario.
no, I take it back. I'm going to name it Andrew.
Uh-huh.
And so every time I'm talking and like it confuses the hell out of you because I'm like talking about this other friend I have named Andrew.
It's the fake one.
It's the real one.
But I think I want to get this because this truly is an audience of one.
I like it.
Yeah, I don't know
what's
if this is
strange-
real, man. I
Well,
can't
No, it's
tell.
real. I'm on the website right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on it right here. I can pre-order it. It's $100.
It says the startup Friend, which is creating an AI-powered digital companion mounted on a necklace, apparently is worth quite a bit. Like they said, $1.8 billion.
Well, what's strange to me is like I would totally understand wearing something like this if it helped me.
Again, yeah, what is this doing? This is kind of sad if you think about it.
Like for example, I like falafels or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and then it texts me like, "Hey, did you know they have a sale of falafels down the road?" I'm like, "Oh, see, I would never."
Maybe it will. But how would it know their sales? I
Because
guess
it's searching the internet. I don't flipping know.
I don't know how much these cost. Oh, it does. It says right here they're
$100.
$99.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's got to have like some sort of subscription cost
Probably,
to it too,
yeah.
right? Because it's got to be out to the unless it just hooks up.
I
to your
almost
own
want to recut that
Wi-Fi.
commercial.
Yeah,
And he's like getting trashed by his friend on a video game. And like texts him, was like, "Do you want me to kill him?"
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of getting into it at the bar, and he's like, "Do you? Yeah. Would you
Okay.
like for me to offer?"
You know what this reminds me of? I saw on Amazon they have the newest Mission Impossible out, Part 1. I think it's called Reckoning, I think. Let me double check. Have you seen it yet?
No, I have not.
Yeah, Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Okay.
So you can watch it now on Amazon, but the major part of the plot is there's AI. That's the villain, or they call it the entity. And
Okay.
I really enjoyed the first Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise.
I'm glad you could admit that right here on the
Okay?
show.
It was a great spy thriller. movie.
Yes.
When they introduced this kind of weird stuff about entities and AI, and it's like, how's it doing this? How is it knowing? And everyone's trying to sound so smart. It's just, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't honestly know how AI we're benefiting all that much from it. And I do think AI is kind of following the trajectory that the internet did 25 years ago. Whereas it used to be this one thing you could go to a computer in the corner of your house to use. Now, and then it got moved to, quicker, higher speeds, then onto a phone that you carried with you. Now it's part of you. AI was sort of this same thing. It was a website that you went to. It could generate things. Now all of a sudden you're carrying it around on a device. It's just the timeline has sped up, but it's the same trajectory.
So what I would try to do if I had this, I would just be the ultimate narcissistic with it.
No
And
way,
I
not
would
you.
I would ask it questions like, what should I do? Like, should I go out on a date with this person? She's cute. And then ask like real mean things
Do
about
whatever
people.
you want, Dick.
Yeah, well, of course, that's what I do.
This is why I'm your best friend, because I always agree with you.
Thanks, Lucifer.
Yeah. You can just call me Lucy tonight. It's just sad, man. This is where we're at, though, with technology. Now we can't have real friends. We have to have AI friends and talk to them in a necklace. Now, right now, it is this sort of circle medallion-looking thing, but it's only going to be a matter of time before
like
it
it.
starts to become humanoid. and these things are
Yeah.
gonna like
Well, I mean, I
resemble
think-
human beings.
I
or
think
something.
people need affirmation. I don't know if that's the correct word.
of course.
They need affirmation, and especially like with simple tasks like working out.
Stuart Smalley told me that all those years ago.
So it's like if this thing sends me a text, hey, don't forget to work out today, and it says it in a nice way,
Sure.
instead of like reminder, work out at 9 a.m.
Or when you're sitting there watching the Olympics on the couch, it's like, hey, didn't go to the gym today, did you, Tubbs? You know?
Or it says, hey, that's a dude.
Yeah, I'm smart enough to know that's a male boxer. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna say that. I'm sensing a little bit of Y chromosome in that one.
Yeah, I can't wait till. Well, these things are gonna be if it is successful. It's gonna be really creepy with the data they share with other necklaces. So it's gonna be like compatibility things. It's gonna be like that. It's gonna be that kind of thing.
Oh, think about this.
That's awesome.
You're sitting there with your necklace on, your AI friend necklace, next to another real human being, and they have their AI friend necklace on, and the two necklaces start hitting it off. And you're like, no, you're supposed to be my friend. And they start becoming friends and start telling all your secrets to the other necklace. They know what you do at night by yourself, Dick.
Well, see, that's what happened in Mission Impossible. There's literally a scene where they're questioning how they got there because did the AI want them to be there? Did they time this? I mean, it's you're sitting there going like, we're talking about a computer, right, guys? Like, and like people are holding guns to each other, and it's like, they're humans. Why are they holding guns to each other? Oh, the entity tricked this one to do this, and I'm like, this is Mission Impossible? Like, what's going on here?
Well, I'm sorry that the movie
It was just-
has gone downhill for you.
Well, it's just AI is such a weird thing.
It
Like,
is.
no
It can
one
be
really
anything. It can
knows.
be anything at all.
Because of course they had that line. Then it went rogue.
Of course, it's always going
And
to go
it's
wrong.
like-
That's like the necklace talking to the other necklace.
Well, I think the necklace talking to the other necklace could be serendipity.
Oh,
Yeah.
Possibly.
Because I let
An AI romance love
let
story.
technology tell me who I need to like.
That's a smart idea.
Why are you looking at all these pictures of Oscar Mayer wiener trucks? Ooh, I think you like that. Oh, do I? I don't know.
So earlier this year, or maybe even last year, I don't know. I think it was last year. We talked about the Downs syndrome Barbie. If you remember this, and you and I both commented at the time that the Down syndrome Barbie didn't really appear to look any different than a normal Barbie. It just kind of looked like a regular doll. And I said, at the time, I thought you really ran the risk of a doll looking, quote, two downs, so you kind of have to make it look basically like a regular doll. But she had some leg prosthetics and things like that. Maybe she was slightly shorter, I think, which at the time I said, look, hey, that's fine. I get it.
Dude, I can get this baby for $7.
See, normal ones sell for 10, and I don't like that. They should be the same price. Just going to go out on the record. But again, at the time I said, look, if this is what someone with special needs identifies with, I think it's fine. It's just it didn't really look like a doll that had Downs. Well, Barbie has introduced a new doll, the first blind Barbie with tactile features and a cane. All right, what are we doing here? I have news for Mattel. All dolls are blind. This makes no sense to me. And if you're a child that may suffer from, the loss of sight, aren't all dolls going to be blind to you? Like, I don't know that you're going to be able to tell. I think this one, though, it's got tactile features. The dress is ruffly, so you can feel it.
Well, they're all like that.
But again, I'm like, yeah, exactly. So I'm like, if you're blind as a child, do you care that your dolls are blind? They're dolls. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, man, and she comes equipped with that cane. I don't know if you're showing the picture of her. It's pretty cool.
I am.
Yeah. So this is part of, again, their fashionista inclusive line, made and aimed to represent more sections of society.
Let me go for
This
it.
Barbie comes with
Well,
a
it's-
white and red
again,
cane
it
with
should
a
just-
marshmallow tip.
should-
Hey, you come with a marshmallow tip.
It should just come with a cane. Like, you just buy a cane. You don't have to buy the Barbie. You can use the cane on any Barbie.
I bet you can. I imagine the cane is removable.
What's I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
you
just
said,
clips- just
every
clips to her
Barbie's
hand.
blind.
Every Barbie's blind.
So-
It doesn't make any sense. You know what? If I were blind, I would be very offended at this. I'm like, no, you don't need to pander to me. Psh, come on.
Well, what happens if you don't use a cane? Not all blind people use a cane.
This is true. And much like
Like,
Mattel worked with...
Where's the dog?
Oh, yeah. Maybe she...
Where's the little headset from Google?
Oh, yeah, right.
I mean, there's so many.
I think they need to make a radio host doll with some headsets on. Looks hungover half the time.
Hey, man.
But they did
That's
work.
a cheap shot.
It was.
That's
It's
a cheap
cheese.
shot. You know what? You know what I do the day before this show? I don't remember.
I don't either.
Now I work at the bowling alley till 11 o'clock.
It says to create a doll that is both accessible and faithfully depicts individuals with sight loss, Mattel worked with several charities, including AFB and the Royal National Institute of Blind People. And I said,
Time blindness.
you need to have a time blind
blindness.
Barbie. She never shows up to the party on
I
time.
love it.
Yeah, she can go play
That's
with Growing Up
great.
Skipper.
I give it a. Then against a doll.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly what you said last time. Death row killer Ruben Gutierrez's execution has been halted just minutes before he was scheduled to be executed. This is pretty screwed up. But this guy, Ruben Gutierrez, was, scheduled to be killed by lethal injection, I think here in Texas, but then was halted due to an order by the state that said there was some inconclusive evidence on his DNA. Now, this guy has long since claimed his innocence, and he claims that DNA evidence will exonerate him. But the thing that I'm really amazed by
I think
this...
DNA evidence is getting kind of like questionable these days.
Is it now?
Yeah, because XY chromosome.
Oh, yeah, right here in
X
Huntsville.
chromosome, you don't really know.
Yeah, you just really don't even know anymore.
It's like...
But here's the thing that I found wild about this, is they stopped his sentence 20 minutes beforehand. At that point, hasn't he already eaten his lupe tortilla last meal? And it's kind of cruel. He's mentally
That would
said,
be your last meal,
I'm
is lupe tortilla?
No, this guy, Ruben Gutierrez. Actually, I don't know if he likes
Now you're
now I'm racially
stereotyping.
profiling.
Now you're
It was
stereotyping.
literally the first restaurant that came to my mind.
He probably goes, Warden, I don't want food. I want blind Barbie. I want to hold blind Barbie while I die.
You sound just like him.
That was Lupe.
But it seems to me really cruel and unusual to let this guy get within a few minutes of death. And again, likely has had his last meal, had it, the preacher's in there doing this with him and reading Bible verses.
Well, I am going to...
And then some guy comes in and goes, hold on!
I'm going to say I appreciate this because there are people...
Because you could find yourself in this position?
People are fighting for life.
Right.
And I appreciate that. Because usually I always imagine, we got to get a thing from the governor to get you off. And it's like, the governor has no time for this. He already said no. He's not going to, wait until he wakes up the day of your execution to be like, oh, hold the phone. Don't do it. So this is cool. People are actually fighting for this guy.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
So-
it is good. It is good. And he's, like I said, he has long since claimed
like that.
he is innocent and is not responsible
You know
for
what's
the
sick?
death. What?
There's one dude who's involved with this whole thing goes, dang it, I really want to see this dude dead.
Probably.
And
Yeah, probably the judge that sentenced him a long
Yeah.
time ago was going, "Ah." But apparently,
if I was
in
the
19
wife, I'd be like, you're so incompetent.
he
You
was,
can't even, you can't even kill him.
He was found guilty of stabbing an 85-year-old woman during a 1998 home robbery. Well, if he is guilty of it, he does deserve to die, but I don't know if that is the case. Dick, how are we doing on time, by the way? I forgot to write down
Whatever.
the time. It's whatever. Have you heard of stiff person syndrome? And no, this is not what happens to you in the mornings. I'm just wondering if you've heard of this syndrome.
Is it weird that I found this and I thought it was a costume? I was like, that'd be kind of hot. And it's
What is it?
It's a Barbie costume.
Uh-oh. Yeah. So you're attracted
It's
to Barbies?
$245 for a little Barbie costume, but I meant a real costume for Halloween.
An actual adult size.
From the corner of my eye, I was like, "Oh, that looks cute."
No, I
I'd
think
be into that.
it looks kind of, if you're into that, kind of anime goth looking.
It's Darth Vader,
And she's blind. Oh, is it? I can't tell. The screens, I can only see half of it. And it's
but they're not
kinda
calling
small.
it Darth Vader. Oh, they are calling it. Okay, cool.
Well, people who have stiff person syndrome can experience severe muscle spasms and other unpleasant symptoms that can worsen without treatment. But apparently Celine Dion suffers from this and has for years. But
What does she have to do with this dude stabbing people?
wait, what? No, I have moved on.
Oh, man.
I moved on.
I thought we were gonna,
You were distracted by the female Darth Vader over there.
Well, I kind of looked and I was like, I'm confused, but I'm okay with it.
Well, I find it interesting, one, because it's one of these maladies that has this really oddly named, syndrome to it because they don't know what else to call it. It's like, stiff person. It just sounds like such a give up to
Yeah.
me. Stiff person syndrome is named after the symptoms, wow, that were originally described with the condition. Episodes of muscles locking up and becoming stiff as a board. Sounds terrible. And Celine Dion, I guess she's still out there singing. She just doing this.
I bet she's trying to say, wait, it's all coming back to me. Just give me a second.
It's all coming back to me now.
Yeah. Hopefully. When she gets
Near and far,
yeah.
it's all coming back to me now. Yeah, well, again, it's not what you think it is, but whatever. Again, I think it's probably a good time to do the quick hit here at the end of the show. What do you think?
Sure, I got to take this costume down.
Okay. Are you familiar? No, I know you're going to say no. I ask you every time. Are you familiar with who Henry H. Bliss is?
Oh, of course.
I love this. He is... Sorry. Henry H. stands for Hale Bliss, was the first recorded incidence of a person being killed in a motor vehicle collision in the United States. When he died September 14th, 1899, at West 74th Street and Central Park in New York City.
New York City?
Get a rope. Just think it's interesting. He made it to 69. And I imagine if you're born in the year 1830 as he was, if someone were to tell him as a child, you're going to die by automobile, he's going to go, what kind of futuristic world am I living in? But he goes down as the very first person to have ever...
Yeah, the details are great.
Yeah, he was apparently hailing a cab, right?
Crushed his head and chest.
I wasn't gonna go into details.
Electric-powered taxi cab.
Yes. Arthur Smith was the driver of the taxi cab, claimed that a large truck occupied the right side of the avenue, making it necessary to drive his vehicle closer to the car. Smith was arrested and charged with manslaughter, but subsequently acquitted on the grounds that he had no malice, nor was he negligent. Again, this goes back to the perfect way to kill somebody is to run him over with a car.
Your colonel was great, but I dug deeper, and I found something even more interesting than this dude getting his soul crushed.
Okay.
In 1899,
right,
90% of New York's taxi cabs were electric vehicles.
I believe there's some big oil conspiracy, huh? That's what you're alluding to.
AAA, really.
Where did you see that at?
Well, I read the death of him.
Uh-huh.
And it said he was struck by a driver of an electric-powered taxi cab. And I was like, 1899 electric-powered taxi cab? That doesn't sound right.
That doesn't sound right. No.
And then I just started looking it up and just ignoring you completely.
Yes, which you're really good at doing.
And I thought that was more interesting.
Elizabeth Banks? Yeah, Elizabeth Banks.
I totally missed that. I thought, you said trailer, and I was like, okay, so it's some poor lady. It's like, that's got to be a pretty tragic scene. Like, you bust open your trailer door and like, somebody help me. And luckily that one stranger.
The one that really got me was we talked about, I asked you, this was several weeks ago, I asked you how long it would be until we had our very first Instagram president. And you're like, I don't know, it's not going to happen that way. And then literally 2 weeks later, Hawk Tua happens. You go, hey, I was having this conversation with somebody about how long it would be till we got an Instagram famous president. I'm like, yeah, it was me on this show.
Well, hey,
and you switched to being like, yeah, I think it's going to happen. It's just great. Dick, you're the best.
I try to be present. I try.
Oh, it's so great. Yeah, that is kind of interesting.
Because I was dropped a lot.
As a child?
No, as an adult.
No, you know what? Your parents probably didn't put you out in one of those baby cages to air you enough, right?
Yeah.
To get you sunlight and air.
Well, actually, the ongoing joke in my family is, since I'm the youngest of 6, they stopped caring. That's the ongoing
True
joke.
Story, everyone. True story.
They stopped caring.
Man.
Yeah, I think that's pretty wild.
It is wild.
Well, really what I wanted to find out about this guy was how fast the car was going.
They didn't keep really good records.
Because in my mind, I think of 1899, max speed is like 15 miles an hour.
Okay. I'm reading more into this.
So I'm imagining the 69-year-old.
It was a trolley car, and they're calling it a taxi. That's why most of them in New York at that time were electric powered. They had the overhead lines. He was
he was leaving a trolley car. He was getting off the trolley car.
Oh, you're right, and it says struck by the driver. So he was leaving a trolley car, electric,
I will let you
powered by
know
an
the word they
electric-powered
use.
taxi.
The word they use, I had to look up because I'm not that bright. Alighting.
Alighting.
He was alighting from the trolley car.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't know what that
I was
means
like,
either.
what the hell is alighting? I look it up. Descend from a train, bus, or other form of transportation.
Did we really have to have a special word
for that
for
specific?
that
I like
particular
it.
action?
I'm down.
Aren't you just exiting?
Well, Henry, thank you so much for that 5-minute conversation
It was
of the most
awesome.
random
Yes.
things.
And by the way, it was automobile number 43. That is another.
Well, that's
fun
actually
fact.
how I found out more about the electric. I just looked up automobile 43, and I was like, I've never heard that before. What does that mean?
Awesome.
So I'll look in more into electric vehicles, and I'll send it to Elon.
Right. You're not doing anything new. This was 110 years ago. All over. It was all the rave back in 1899.
Yeah, I think if I saved Elon Musk's life from choking, and he'd be like, "What's the one thing you want?" I'm like, "Can we please just call it Twitter?"
Okay, hold on.
That's what I would ask him.
The story is kind of the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh, really?
It says a plaque was dedicated
Oh, yeah,
at the
I saw
site.
this.
Okay.
I saw this.
On September 13th, 1999 to commemorate the event. It reads, here at West 74th Street and Central Park West, Henry H. Bliss dismounted from his streetcar. Now, hold on.
Yeah, no lighting.
No lighting. This says he dismounted. So what is it? I think there's a conspiracy here. This is inconsistent. He dismounted from a streetcar and was struck and knocked unconscious by an automobile. Anyways, I'm not going to read the whole thing. I just thought it was interesting because in this particular instance, it says he is dismounted, which makes more sense. No, wait. No, it doesn't make any sense. He wasn't mounted in the car. He was just riding. I don't know, man. We are going down a rabbit hole. All right, guys, that's all the time we have got left for this week. We thank you very much for your time and attention here on the Audience of One show, Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Tell your friends, like, share, follow.
Bye-bye.